And back now at 10:30, we continue to look back at the year 2025, and news wasn't the only thing making headlines. Our weather also had people talking as we begin the new year. Let's take a look back at Kern County's top 5 weather events of 2025.
Spot number 5 goes to the Bakersfield funnel clouds of March 6th. A late winter storm was moving across our region, with a cold pocket of air aloft bringing about scattered instability to the South Valley. An isolated thunderstorm cell spun up a funnel cloud that was seen by many around southwest Bakersfield at about 1 in the afternoon. Throughout the afternoon, other small showers or very brief thunderstorm cells would pop up and move south above the South Valley. About 4 hours after the first funnel cloud sightings, I stepped outside into our Eyewitness News parking lot right after my weather segment, and lo and behold, spotted another funnel cloud to our west. This one, too, would be seen by many in the area who would also post photos and videos on their social media pages. In fourth place, we have the South Valley Wind Blast Dust Storm of September 2nd. This was a very interesting event, which began during the early morning hours as a late summer monsoonal push worked into California during the middle of heatwave number 5. A barrage of lightning strikes heralded thunderstorms between the coastal range and the Central Valley. Thousands of strikes ignited numerous wildfires, and some surprise downpours caught people working through puddles. Additionally, AM thunderstorms that had occurred over the Southern California desert generated strong outflow winds from the east as a result of a large, rain-cooled cold pool that had quickly materialized over the Mojave. These winds, the product of dense and heavy air being sent out of a newly developed high-pressure area due to that abrupt cooling air mass, were sent westward throughout the Tehachapi Pass and Kern River Valley, with speeds locally exceeding 60 miles an hour, and visibilities going locally down to zero with the blowing sand and dust. As this whipped into the South Valley during the afternoon, trees were knocked down, power was disrupted, visibility plummeted, and valley fever anxiety was induced. One really notable occurrence during the wind frenzy was the fact that Bakersfield registered its highest temperature of the summer by far during the midst of the windy dust blast, 108 degrees. Kern County's third most impactful weather event of the year goes to the desert flash floods, funnel clouds, and tornadoes of September 18th. TD-13E became Tropical Storm Mario off of Mexico. An upper low came into position southwest of Southern California, while an upper high set up over the Grand Canyon of Arizona. The moisture from Mario was sandwiched in between and was drawn up into south central California. The result, intense thunderstorms, the likes of which you would find in the Great Plains, were spotted in our desert areas, producing at least one confirmed landspout tornado near Palmdale and another funnel cloud at the bare minimum, but possibly a tornado touchdown, per the photographic imagery near Rosemont. The Tornado Alley in the Antelope Valley was also associated with torrential rains. Multiple inches came down in the area between Edwards, Inyo, Kern, and Ridgecrest, and that's just from what was officially collected in the sporadic rain buckets out there. Roads were washed out, and segments of major highways, including the 14, were impassable. Randsburg, a small desert community, was hit exceptionally hard. The annual Old West Days Festival was canceled. Second place goes to our more recent mid to late November storm series. A month that started out on the warm and dry side changed like a flip of a coin about midway through. Ultimately, there would be 9 days out of November's 30 with rainfall in Bakersfield, making it appear like our rainiest month of the winter rather than typically much drier beginning of the autumn to winter transition. To symbolically separate the warmer and drier to the cooler and wetter halves of the month, Saturday, November 15th, became home to Bakersfield's new rainfall record for the date. A whopping 1.23 inches of rain was recorded on that day alone, nearly doubling the previous record for the date. An inch of rain in a calendar day is not all too common around here. Over the past 136 years, only 32 such days have been observed, with only 5 of these days in the 21st century and only 4 during the month of November. Ultimately, the rains of this past November helped propel Bakersfield to see its third wettest November of all time, of course, going back to 1889. And finally, possibly the most memorable Kern County weather event of the year, made possible in part by number 2, is the status quo relentless Tule of the South, Central, and North Valley. Obviously, when this area picked up around 500% of its average rainfall for the time of year, there's not really anywhere else for that newfound moisture to go but into the air. Hours turned into days, and days became weeks of gray, day after day after day. South Valley high temperatures started going downhill shortly after the storms, and by the time December came in, not only was every day consistently below average through the 17th, but most days were stuck in the 40s. What was even more remarkable is that all of this was happening while our neighbors to the south, on the other side of the hill, were getting 80s and in some cases even 90s. One day, Bakersfield's afternoon temperature was half that of Woodland Hills, 45 versus 90. Such was the story of the South Valley versus the San Fernando Valley. Our stretch of 189 hours under 50 was finally broken on December 12th when the thermometer barely and briefly hit 50. And then it took another tumble for the next 4 days of more 40s. During these weeks, the sun was fleeting, the fog was locally thick, and the rare glimpse of sunlight was a huge cause for celebration. The familiar upper-level high pressure that keeps the cold air trapped across the low elevations of the valley, while the temperatures are much warmer and the air is a lot drier, just a bit higher, finally gave way to the storms of later December. Until that happened, many South Valley locales had to think long and hard to recall the last time the gray stuck around this long, day after day after day.